Hey everyone, we're going to live with Lisa of Raw Food Romance, and she is going to show you the secret of sprouting chickpeas. Yeah, when I learned how to do this her way, it was a game changer. And in fact, I used the sprouted chickpeas to make these, which is in the vegan health bundle. Yeah, but I'll tell you more about that. And she's also going to show us how to bloom forbidden rice, the black wild rice. Yeah. And also that if you're wondering what to do with sprouted chickpeas and the bloomed wild rice, check out the ebook by Lisa and Chef AJ in Make It Raw 3. Yeah, and which is in the current vegan health bundle, which is taking place right now from 1st to 10th of March 2025. Yeah, okay, let me just pin the let me pin the let me pin the comment first. View request. Yeah, Poppy's mom has a question, so we will ask Lisa that. Yeah. Hello, this cloistered life. Hey, Lisa.
Hey, how are you
Good
doing?
to see you. I wanted to show you. These are these are the orange burgers from Kate's ebook, and I made it with the sprouted chickpeas.
Excellent. Oh, I love it. Love it.
Yeah. Yeah. So just before you came on, I was telling people that you'll be showing us how to you'll be telling us how, yeah, showing us how to sprout chickpeas, because um when I learned your method of doing it, it was like a game changer. And yeah, it didn't smell funky anymore. And I made like your chana masala with it and all that. And what else? Oh, I made falafels with it as well. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Nice.
that's
Yeah,
that's that's really cool.
that's so cool. Yeah, I'm excited about this one. I have some to show off. I've got a couple things to show everybody here,
Awesome.
but I also wanted to mention really quickly before we start is um, right now the payment portal for the bundle has been having some errors. So when people click buy now to buy the bundle, it says error 500. We're trying to get that fixed. So if people are wanting to buy the bundle, what we're recommending is click the link in our bio and open it up on your laptop or whatever. And you can either bookmark that page or wait until a few hours, and hopefully we can get that fixed. We're working with the host to get that fixed. So right now, no one can get the bundle, which really sucks.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. So, but yeah, we want people to still get the bundle. So, check back tomorrow or whatever, and we're going to get it fixed. So yeah,
Yeah.
just wanted to say that in
I'm
case
sh-
anyone's like, I want it.
I'm sure it's just a temporary thing, and we'll get it up soon. Yeah.
Yes, I wanted to say hello to Az. He's in there as well. Hello. We miss you guys. We had so much fun with you here. It was
I
so cool.
know. Yeah, we
Yeah.
always talk about your cats, and he always and us also always goes like, I really like like nature so much, and they go hiking. I really like how Lisa and Nate are so lovey-dovey. I really.
Oh, I love that. Oh, thank you guys. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And I'm going
Oh,
like, do you know you ate raw for 3 whole days and you didn't complain?
I love that. That's so cool. I know. Yeah, we make good food. I mean, what can I say, right? That's awesome. No, it was really, really fun to have you over here. The cats really loved Az. Like they were just all over him. We've got one of them sleeping on the chair right now, and yeah, they really liked you so
Oh,
much.
aw.
Yeah. But yeah, let's chat a little bit about the blooming black
Mhm.
rice and the chickpeas. So I have some show and tell. So this is the forbidden black rice. This is the one that we use, and this is the one I gave you as a present.
Yes. I made I
um,
made one of your. I think I made your pineapple recipe, pineapple rice, unfried rice recipe with that.
that one's so good. I know, really like that one. So this is the one we get. It's from Lotus Foods, and we get the well, I like the heirloom one. So this one says organic, but there's one that says heirloom, and I feel like that one blooms a little bit better than the
Oh,
organic one. It's just been our experience, but you know, each bag seems to be a little different. Like some of them bloom much better than others, so it really depends. But I want to show these ones, which we have been soaking for approximately 48 hours. And blooming the rice is like super easy to do. Like seriously, super easy. What you do is you soak it in water, like you fill it up. I'd say like in a 32-ounce jar, you would probably put about half a cup of the dried rice in there and fill it up with water and then stir it. You want to stir it to release all of the air bubbles so that it doesn't harbor any oxygen in there for bacteria. And then you soak it for 72 hours, which is three full days.
okay.
And after 3 days, they'll start to bloom. I don't know if anyone can see. They're kind of a little bit puffy, and it's black rice, so it's going to color the inside purple. All right, so it's kind of hard to see, but it kind of fluffs it up a little bit. They're a little chewier. They're not going to be the same as cooked rice, but it is a really nice option for having rice as a raw foodie. And it's, like I said, it's super easy to do. Soak it for 72 hours. And then after that, you rinse it, you drain it, stick it in the fridge, and use it. I would say use it within, I don't know, probably like 3 or 4 days after you've bloomed. Someone's asking, can you bloom any rice? Honestly, I don't think it's the greatest. Try blooming the other rice because this is actually a seed. It's like a grass,
Yeah.
and it's a seed. So it's a low fat seed and it blooms. So it's not like sprouting. It's not like microgreens. It's just like it just like breaks open and kind of like fluffs up.
Yeah.
And not all rice does this. Like real rice won't do it. You have to cook rice. Some types of wild rice, like the wild Canadian rice, would bloom, and there are a few different types of wild rice out there that will bloom, but I have not had very much success with those ones. So we stick with the black forbidden rice. This is the only one that I've tried that has been good for blooming. But that's the rice.
Yeah,
Which is,
I've tried two rice, yeah, different kinds of wild rice here in Malaysia, and I couldn't get to bloom it either. And then yeah, then the one that you gave me, then it worked. And then I wanted to go to Amazon to try and buy more, but they don't ship to Malaysia, so yeah.
oh,
So
that
so I need to
sucks.
eat cauliflower rice instead.
Right? I know. I'm like, I wonder how much it would be for me to ship one to you. Probably
I
like,
think it'll be quite
yeah,
expensive because it's
it's probably going to be
heavy.
like $30 just to ship one.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
I don't think it'll be
ridiculous.
worth it. Yeah.
Right, totally.
Yeah.
But yeah, like people can try different ones. Again, like the long grain, black wild rices. Some of those can bloom, and usually when those ones bloom, they kind of curl up and they'll get like all soft, and you can kind of see the inside of the rice,
Hmm.
and that makes them edible raw without having to cook them. So that's an option for people as well. And then with the chickpeas. All right, so chickpeas, you want to see our bag of chickpeas? Check this out. Oh,
Wow. You can use that for strength training.
right? Yeah, oh
Ah,
no.
ah, ah. Put it in
um,
your backpack and then for bone density.
that's a good idea. I really like your line of thinking. I think that's really great. So, um, we have a quick question. Does the jar need to be covered or can it be open? We have on top like a mesh lid, just so hairs and things don't get in there. And we keep it on the counter for the whole 72 hours. And once it's finished blooming, after the 3 days, then we rinse it, drain it, and put it in the fridge. And then we use it within 4 days from the fridge. So that's what we do. Yeah, you keep them both on the counter when you're sprouting or soaking the chickpeas as well. So yeah, here is it's from Food to Live. And
Right.
this is a great company because they make sprouting seeds. And these chickpeas work really well, and they're really high quality. There's also a company called The Sprouting Company.
Mm-hmm.
So it's thesproutingcompany.com, and they sell sprouting garbanzo beans. So you want to get sprouting ones, like ones that are meant to be soaked and sprouted, because then you're getting like cream of the crop, like some of the best ones on the market. You're not getting the chickpeas that are meant to be cooked. You're getting ones that are more meant to be sprouted. So you're getting like, the best ones out of the batch. So those ones are going to germinate better. So my trick that I discovered for the chickpeas is soaking them for 2 whole days. So when most people are doing sprouting, they're sprouting lentils or broccoli sprouts or radish sprouts or whatever it is, usually they're only soaking for about 8 hours or overnight.
Mm-hmm.
And I always found that they just weren't working for me.
Yeah.
And I found that soaking them for 2 full days, so a full 48 hours, and even a little longer too, in some cases, like if you let them go for 60 hours, which would be 2.5 days, that's good too. That works as well. So what you want to do is you fill your jar with about half a cup worth of the chickpeas, the dried ones. You fill it with water, and then you stir it. Again, you want to release as many air bubbles as you can, because the air bubbles trapped, that's what's going to grow bacteria. So you want to release as many air bubbles as you possibly can. And then you let it sit on your counter with a mesh lid if you want, or a cheesecloth or something, just to keep like hairs and lint and stuff out of the jar. And you let it sit for 48 to say 60 hours in the water. You can change the water a couple times if you really want to. You're going to see a little bit of foam that kind of grows at the top, and that's totally normal. That's part of the stuff that's gassing off the chickpeas. It's, when you open a can of cooked chickpeas and there's the aquafaba in there, it's kind of along the same lines. You're getting like that residue from the chickpeas as they start to germinate. So it's totally fine. Just rinse it off, change the water out if you want to. You don't have to. We usually don't. We just let it sit there for 2 days, and then we rinse and drain. And then the second step is the final 24 hours. That's when you rinse and drain 2 or 3 times in 24 hours. And you want to rinse it and then drain it. So after it's soaked, you rinse it really well, and then you're going to put it on an angle in like a bowl or something, so that the water can drip out of the lid. So you want to have a mesh lid. You can use cheesecloth with an elastic band or whatever else you have, just so that the water can release. And then you're going to want to rinse and drain, and do that for the next 24 hours. And what that does, that's the sprouting period. Now, your chickpeas may not get tails, and that's one thing that a lot of people wait for. They wait, they'll have their chickpeas soaking or sprouting for like 5 or 6 or 7 days, and they're not getting little tails. You don't need to have little tails on the chickpeas for them to be ready to eat. Some of them might have little tails. Like I already see a couple of these ones are just kind of like starting to pop up. But they'll be ready tomorrow, because these have already soaked for 48 hours. So now for the next 24 hours, they're just going to sit tilted in a bowl, so the water can drain off and so that they can start sprouting. And after that 24 hours, you don't need to let them go forever and ever and always until they get tails, because most of the time you're going to be waiting a long time for them to sprout. And then they're going to start to smell funny. They're going to get really vinegary and smell kind of funky.
Yeah.
And you don't want that. So you don't need to wait for the long tails. As soon as they're soaked, and just sprout them for 24 hours. At that point, once that 24 hours has passed, regardless if there's tails or not, that's when we freeze the chickpeas. And that's like the key. And we learned this from Chris Kendall. And actually, you'll enjoy this. We were hanging out with Rick and Karen, Dr. Rick and Karen Dina, and they're actually coming to visit us later this
Oh,
month. They're going to
oh,
hang out here
nice.
in Vegas. Yeah, for a couple nights. They're bringing their little guy, and we're going to have some fun.
Oh,
But we taught them this technique, and they really enjoy the freezing and the thawing. And Dr. Rick was like, we should call it candleizing the chickpeas. Because it's a Chris Kendall technique, right? So it's like, I kendalized the chickpeas, or I kendalized the carrots, or I kendalized the cauliflower by freezing and thawing, right? So we think that's hilarious. We're like, yeah, let's kendalize the vegetables by just putting them in the freezer and thawing them. So that's the trick, is so you soak it for 48 hours, you sprout it for 24 hours, and then you rinse it really thoroughly with all those balloons going up. And you rinse it really thoroughly, and then you freeze it. So here is some frozen chickpeas that we have.
ah.
I don't know if you can see, some of them have little tails, like this one
Yes,
right
I can
here.
see the tails. Yes.
Yeah. So these are brown chickpeas. They're different than the regular
Oh yeah,
garbanzo.
these are like the Indian chickpeas, the
Yes.
smaller ones, right?
Yeah,
Mm.
these are the Indian chickpeas, the brown ones. And these ones I found were more likely to get tails
Oh,
than the other ones. So
I
these little tiny
should try
tails.
that. I haven't tried it with the smaller ones.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
okay.
I think it's because they are smaller, so they take less time to sprout. But yeah, so
Right.
that's what it looks like. What we like to do is we'll freeze the chickpeas in 1 cup containers,
Mm,
so that when we have a recipe, most recipes are like 1 cup of chickpeas or 2 cups of chickpeas or whatever. Then
yeah.
all we have to do is take out 1 cup of frozen chickpeas and we thaw it under a little bit of warm water, and then we use it in our recipes. And it's a great way to add more, sprouted legumes to your diet. We also do that with lentils. Lentils are a lot faster. Lentils you only need to soak for 12 hours and then sprout for 24, and they're pretty much ready to go. These are frozen. They're falling out. These are frozen sprouted
What
lentils.
are these, the red lentils?
These
Or
are, yeah,
or
these are the crimson ones.
oh, okay, okay.
There's a little, yeah, they get the little tiny tails.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, I love frozen and thawed sprouted lentils. I think that's probably my favorite out of all of them,
Yeah.
is the lentils.
And if people get the bundle, there's actually a Ethiopian lentil stew by Chris Kendall. Yeah, yeah, if they sprout the lentils, you can put that in that stew. Yeah, yeah,
That
he's got
that
actually.
is probably my favorite stew out of his whole stew book that's in the bundle. I
Yeah.
absolutely love that one. That was it was the first time I ever tried the Burberry spice.
Ah, okay,
And
okay.
I was just like mind blown. Like, I'm like, this is amazing. Like, why have not I been eating this? So, yeah.
Yeah,
hmm
yeah,
But yeah, so that's
yeah. Well,
how you do it. That's how you do it. You
yeah,
do the
thanks for that. It's actually quite straightforward, but it makes such a difference because, like I said previously, I would wait and wait and wait for the tails to come out, and then I didn't freeze it and thaw it, you know. So number one, when you wait for the tails to come out, then it becomes like it smells funky and all that. And then because you don't freeze it and thaw it, it's still the texture is still a bit crunchy, so it doesn't taste like, chickpeas. So
Mhm.
I was actually thinking, like, you know how people always make crispy chickpeas or something like that. I was half thinking of, like, oh, maybe I should, like, use one of the crispy chickpea recipes, but instead of putting it in the oven, just dehydrate it, so marinate it in that same recipe, and then yeah, dehydrate it, but I haven't gotten around to doing that yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I did try that one time, and it feels like they get harder.
Oh,
They don't
okay,
get as
they do get harder.
Yeah, you know what I've thought about, and I really want to try this, is I know not everybody can have a freeze dryer,
Ah,
but I want to try doing freeze dry. Because
yeah,
you know
yes.
how it changes the texture and it's like almost like popcorn,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
I want
yeah.
to try doing that with that. But because like we do that with green peas. We'll
Mm.
like marinate those the in curries or with the ramen or whatever. And we always add the peas after it's been marinated because we find if we marinate it in the dehydrator with everything else, they get like rock hard. So we're like,
yeah.
it sucks, but because yeah, the crispy chickpeas, gotta find a way to make those. If you find a way, it's gonna be amazing. Seriously. Um, we had a question too. Have you made hummus with this method? Yes. So in the Make It Raw 3 book, there's 2 hummuses. There's the spicy carrot one, and a mushroom one, I think.
Let me look.
Like, I don't even remember which ones are in mine. My own.
Let me see. Oh, yeah. There's a spicy carrot hummus and veg. This one.
There's that one.
And then, oops. Let me see. And then what else? I know I made
the mushroom.
Oh, and there's a curried mushroom and kale curried hummus. Right?
Yes. Yeah. That's the other one. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one's really good too. So with the raw hummuses, it's not going to be the same as cooked hummus. However, the freezing and the thawing technique does bring it kind of in the middle. Like if you think like a raw hummus that's really starchy and kind of bitter, it's not as creamy. And then you have your cooked hummus over here. It's kind of in the middle, right? Like it's still a little fresh. It's still a little crispy. It's still got a little bit of that extra starch in there, but it's not like a straight up raw chickpea kind of a flavor. So I find it's so much more enjoyable. Like we make the chickpea mash, which is in the Make It Raw 3 book. We actually had that in our wraps the other day. And that's one of our favorite things to make with the chickpeas. Yeah, it's so good. So good. Highly recommend that.
You made that for us when we came over and we took it on the the airport to eat it.
Yes. It's such a good one, isn't it? I really like that too. And then you can make the hummus with the lentils too. The lentils work really good with that.
Yeah, that's right. So Poppy's mom asked, where can you find the I don't even know how to pronounce it. What, Burberry spice?
I think it's Burberry, but I don't know either. I don't want to say it correctly. But yeah, Burberry spice. I think you get that. Like we buy ours on Amazon, and there's different kinds of blends. So you can get like really spicy Burberry, and you can get mild Burberry. So you want to like kind of like check out the different types because like everyone's gonna have their different blend because it is a spice blend of different.
Chris had
yes.
Did he have a blend? He might have had.
He does. I think he does. Now I'm like, now I need to know because I think for those who are watching, I believe that Chris Kendall has a Burberry spice recipe in his ebook. Here, let me just see. I've got it open right here. Rolling down. Bonus recipe is, yes. He's got a chili powder recipe and a Burberry recipe.
Yeah, I always use his chili powder recipe because it's harder to get chili. When in Malaysia, when we say chili powder, it's just chili, that's all. Whereas in the US, it's a blend, right? So I always make his blend and it's really good. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, it's totally, the chili powder blend is like so good. But yeah, he has Burberry recipe to make the Burberry spice. And I need to make his as well and see what his flavor profile is like because there are so many different. I mean, there's like coriander, fenugreek, cloves and onion and paprika and stuff in there too. So, there's at least like, I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, like 12 ingredients to make it. So each person or each company is going to have like a different blend. Like some might like more fenugreek and some might like more paprika and, so they have like their different blends. Some like it super spicy, so they put a lot of cayenne pepper in it or whatever. So it really depends, but I really want to try Chris's. And for those who buy the bundle, when you're able to buy the bundle, because right now the payment portal, I'm just refreshing it. It's still not working. So hopefully eventually like come back tomorrow and buy the bundle. So when you do buy the bundle, open Chris Kendall's stews ebook. It's the Craving Buster stew ebook, and he's got a recipe to make your own Burberry spice, and then you can make his stew using the lentils. It's so good. Yeah, definitely worth it.
Oh. And Velvetish Rose says, I think the dark chickpeas stay harder than the regular chickpeas. Do you find, is that the case for
Um,
you?
Yeah, I think that the darker chickpeas are more fibrous.
Ah,
So I wouldn't say they're necessarily harder. I would just say that they're a little bit more fibery. They also have a little bit more of a nutty flavor. Not as,
okay.
like, they're still like chickpeas, but they're like a little bit more nutty, earthy. They're more earthy, and yeah, they're more fibrous. So they are like a little more chewy, but they're still really good. Like I personally really like them. I think they're pretty cool to use in like curries and stuff like that. So, but they did sprout a lot better than the other chickpeas did. Like we got more tails
Ah,
off more of them from that. You know, just the 24 hours after soaking, a lot more of them got little tails. So,
right. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I will try that. And then, hi, Rose. Shelley says, I purchased the bundle on yesterday. Yay! Hope,
We hope
hope,
you love it.
yeah, hope you're enjoying it.
Oh, I
Satya
wanted to
says,
ask you, how have you been enjoying the meditation videos in the bundle?
oh yeah, it's good because I usually that's part of meditation and affirmations are part of my morning ritual. I usually wake up, then I do a meditation, and then after that, so my meditation I usually do either a Tara Brach meditation or a Deepak Chopra meditation. So now I can do your meditation. I was just like, wow, Lisa sounds so calm, you know that. And then and then usually when after I wake up, then I'll like be, like doing my kitchen stuff and all that because I'll be like, rinsing my sprouts and keeping all the plates and wiping the tables and all that. So that's when I usually do my affirmations. So, and I usually do the Bob Baker affirmation. So now I can do your affirmations.
Yes, awesome. Yeah, you did day 3. You're on day 3 now.
Yeah, I'm on day 3 now. Laurie Landry Welder said, such inspiring women. Oh, thank you, Laurie.
Thank you,
And
Lori.
how is it? Hi, I have the hand salads cookbook. I have yet to crack the code on the perfect wraps. Lol, lol.
If that, whoever that was, if you want to message me, I can help. Like
Mm,
some people are, maybe you're not following the weights on
mm.
the recipe correctly, because that's like the number one issue that people tend to have. They're not following the proper weights, so they're not getting the same amount that you should get out of it. Another thing that people do incorrectly is uh, if they have a smaller dehydrator and they make one batch and they're using the smaller trays. Some people are trying to fill 2 of the smaller trays, and they don't dry properly. You have to fill 3 evenly of the smaller trays or 2 of the bigger trays from one wrap recipe. So that's an issue as well. And if it's dry time, if it's not dry, like in the center when you push on it, it should have no dimpling. Like it should be totally dry against the sheet, and that's when you know it's ready. But a lot of people will peel it off when it's not ready, and then it rips and tears, and it's not ready yet. You just have to keep it in. Everyone's dry time is going to be different, because if you are living in a humid climate, it's going to take longer to dry. If you have a smaller dehydrator, it's going to take longer to dry, because it's like restricted airflow. So there's not a lot of airflow happening in there, so it's going to take a lot longer. Also, if you're doing like 4 wraps at once or 5 or 6 wraps at once, everything's going to take longer to dry. Sometimes it could be like 24 hours to dry it all, because you're putting too many things in the dehydrator and there's way too much moisture and not very much airflow. So it doesn't dry as well, and sometimes they take forever. So I really recommend just doing 1 batch at a time in your dehydrator. Even if you have a big dehydrator, just 1 batch at a time. Everything's going to dry a lot better that way. And also the final tip would be to make sure you're using psyllium husk powder. If you're using the actual husks, you're not going to get enough of the moisture grabbing activity of the powder, and it causes like cracks. So like when you use the husk, it like clumps up and causes cracks, and then it looks like a dry lake bed. It's all cracking in the middle and everything, and it doesn't turn out the same. So make sure that you're using powder, and make sure that you're only blending it in for 3 seconds after you've blended everything else. Because if you blend it in too long, then you're going to get that cracking as well. So just a few little suggestions for whoever that was. And if you have any other issues, just send me a DM because I'm more than welcome or more than happy to help fix those issues.
I have a question about the 3 seconds because I'm just wondering if you just blend it for 3 seconds because you put it on the top of the Vitamix, right? Does it actually go in and mix with everything? I usually manually mix it because I'm always very worried, like, I don't think it's blending enough. So I'm like,
Yeah, you can totally manually fix it. I know, totally, right? You can definitely manually mix it in. But what happens in the blender, like you have your blender and you put it in at the top. When you put it on the first blend, like sometimes I'll do like 1 second where some of it goes in, but not all of it. And then when I turn off the blender, usually there's like a big air bubble that goes like pop on the top. And then when I turn it on the second time, then it pulls the rest of it down. So I kind of like pulse it, like I'll do it for 1 second and then I'll stop it and then I'll let the air bubble go. Or sometimes if you shake it, the air bubble will and then you can do it again and it'll bring the rest of it in. But you can always keep doing what you're doing. Like stirring it in is just enough. It's just that when you blend it too long, that's when it clumps up and then it causes like weird cracking in there as well. So yeah, stirring it in is totally
I do blend it. I do the blending for 3 seconds and after that I stir it.
Oh
So
yeah.
just
No,
just
that's
to
cool. Yeah, just
make
to make
sure that it goes in. Yeah, and the other thing is I do use the psyllium husk flakes, but I don't go with the tablespoon measurement. So I go with your weights because in the hand salad ebook you actually have how many grams. So yeah, initially when I was just using a tablespoon, it's not enough because flakes and powder is different. But once I started just going with the weight, so I weighed out the psyllium husk flakes according to the weight that you put in for the powder. It worked. For me, it worked really well. So I had no problems after that. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, there are some people who will grind the flakes into powder. So you like you said, you're using the same weight. Because if you grind the flakes into a powder, you're going to get the same weight, right, as the powder. So no, that's good that that what works for you. I'm really glad to hear that. So that's another option for people if you can't get the powder, because some people can't get the powder. So that's
So the person says I rarely have enough for 2 wraps. I will message you. I always have 2. Sometimes I have 3.
and some wraps. So my question then would be, if you don't have enough for 2 wraps, are you following the weights exactly? Because if you are doing like, for example, 2 onions for me, like the onions that we get here in Vegas are like massive. They're huge onions. And I know not everybody is getting those onions. So for me, I use 2 onions. But for someone else, they might need to use 3 to 5 or even 6 onions, right? If they're like smaller ones. So if you're using 2 small onions, you're not going to get the same amount as using 2 large onions. And that's like the main reason why I put the weights in, is so that you get the same amount of batter that I do. Now that said, there are certain wraps that have less batter. Like for example, the Green Goddess one, that wrap has less batter. But the reason for that is that you want that to be a thinner wrap. If you have that one too thick, it doesn't dry right and it's like too chewy and I don't like the texture. So that's why that one has a little less in it. But really all you have to do if you're using the 14 by 14 trays to split the wrap evenly over 2 trays, and you can weigh it out if you really want to get geeky with it. You can weigh out the batter that goes on each tray. But they should be even, both of them. And then if you have the 10 by 12 trays, even them out across 3. And that way you get the proper amount for the wrap, the finished product. But people who buy the bundle, if you do buy the bundle, eventually when you're able to buy the bundle, because right now the payment portal is down and it's still not working. So maybe tomorrow, come back, buy the bundle. If you download our Tales from the Tailgate ebook, we have some wrap recipes in there. We've got the Everything Bagel one. We've got the Cosmic Blue Galaxy wrap.
I made that
we
one.
Have the hot, yeah, that one's so much fun. We have the hot harissa wrap and the onion-free garden party
zucchini garden. Yeah, I made that as well. We took it hiking.
Yeah, a good one. It's nice. It's a little softer than the other ones, I find. But it's really great for people who didn't want the onions in there.
Yeah.
But my favorite one in there, obviously, is the everything bagel. And the only reason that we make that one so often is because I have that recipe
Memorize.
memorized. Yeah, so if I go in the, I'm like, I gotta make wraps. That's the one I make because that's the one I know, and I don't have to pull out my book or anything. And we always have the ingredients always on hand for that one. So like, if we want to make the V8 wrap, sometimes we don't have beets. If I want to make this one, sometimes we don't have this other, but we always have the ingredients for the everything bagel. So it's a lot easier to make that one all the time. And that's the main reason. Like, it's not necessarily the favorite. We really enjoy it and we eat it all the time, but it's because I have it memorized.
That's actually my favorite. I've made so many of your wraps, and I like that everything bagel one. And I made it. Yeah, we also went like not a huge hike, but like a kiddie hike with a friend, and he ate it and he loved it, and he's not even raw, and he's not even vegan, right? He's like, whoa, wow.
I
So
love
yeah,
that. Yeah,
yeah.
we met some new friends. We actually, so you know how Nate's got his truck with all the cool
Mm.
stuff in the truck. So he was in the Whole Foods parking lot and he was admiring someone else's Toyota Tacoma
Oh,
truck.
okay.
And the guy came out of the store and started chatting with Nate, and they started talking about their trucks,
Uh-huh.
and they became friends. So now we're
Oh,
friends with him, and he's really interested in the wraps. He's super cool. His family's really cool. His wife is awesome. His kids are super cute. And we've hung out with them a few times. Like we went out and played in the snow, because up on Mount Charleston where we took you
yeah,
guys, there was
yeah.
snow. There was snow up there,
Wow.
and we like built a snow fort, and
Oh, so
um,
cool. So
the
fun.
boys got stuck in the snow in their trucks. It was really fun. It was a good day. But they're really interested in the wraps, and we've made the wraps for Chris and his family, and they're like, this is so awesome. So it's really cool that people who aren't even raw or vegan or whatever, they really enjoy these as well. It's such a great option for people to get more fiber into their diet and to get
Yeah.
something like more vegetables into their diet, because the majority of the wraps are just fruits and vegetables pretty much. So
Yep.
it's a great way to feed your microbiome. It's a great way to get that fiber in, and they're gluten free because they're not made with flour. So
Mm.
such great options. They're super fun to make and great to take traveling, as you know.
Yes.
So yeah, I hope people enjoy. Like, grab the bundle tomorrow when the link is back up. But yeah, get the Tales from the Tailgate ebook and download that, and you can make some of the wraps from there.
Yeah, that was really good because that one has Nate's. That's the one that has Nate's. He built the thing for
The
his
solar
truck, right?
power, the
Yes,
solar
yes.
power generator.
I was
Yeah,
so
yeah.
impressed. I was so impressed with that video. I was like, wow, whoa.
Yeah, he
Because
put so much work in that video.
yeah. Because us doesn't do anything like that. That's why I was very impressed.
Oh, Az has his own skills.
Yeah. Us helps me with all the tech stuff and all that, and keeps me updated on all the the techie things. I just want to read the last comment. Hi Rochelle, before we end. Hi Rochelle, he says, I love your hand salad ebook. I purchased not during the bundle, and then I purchased the burger book last week. Completely forgot the vegan bundle was starting on yesterday, but the vegan bundle has your Tales from the Tailgate ebook, and it also has my Korean barbecue course as well, which is all raw vegan and oil free. So if you decide to get the bundle, then you'll still get a lot of good value from it
Yeah.
as well. And actually I like this bundle because it has a lot of video lectures from the plant-based doctors,
Yeah.
and that's usually not in any other bundle. So I think that makes it special. And it also has Chef AJ's at least like 5 videos from her Live Your Best Life conference as well. And I thought those were like really those were really helpful and really useful as well. So
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah,
yeah.
those videos are super cool. She actually added that last minute to the bundle, so it was really cool that she had that. Those videos that you get access to, only the people who went to that conference got those videos. So it's really cool. People who buy bundle get access to watch those videos. So it's a really good bonus. But I like what you said, like there's so many videos in this bundle. And actually, you might need to download the new copy because I just fixed it and added it. But you know the group collaboration ebook? In Chef AJ and our recipes. So there's like 2 savories from me and Chef AJ, and there's 2 sweets. The balloons.
I can't
There's 2
get the
sweets.
balloons out, and
I
you
don't know why that happens.
I think
Like,
it's
is it the
I
thumbs
think
up
it's
or
this
whatever? This is the
thing.
piece. 2
Yeah.
balloons. Anyways, yeah, so in there now, so download the new version from the bundle for the group collaboration ebook, and on our recipe videos for the savory ones and the sweet ones, we actually filmed us making them in the kitchen. So
I saw your IG stories for that. So I was wondering like where are the videos? I want to watch the videos. Okay.
yeah,
I will re-download it then. Yeah.
yeah. So those are in the group collaboration ebook, and that's the only place that anyone's ever going to be able to watch those. So I went with Nate to Chef AJ's house to visit her and her husband Charles and her little dog Bailey for New Year's Eve. So we spent New Year's Eve with Chef AJ and New Year's Day with her as well. And on New Year's Eve, or it was New Year's Day, I think, that we did the videos. So I made sushi, raw sushi, and she made these like sweet potato pizza bites. And then we made the desserts where I made like the little sweet potato balls with a berry drizzle, and she made these like fudge pies or whatever. And all of those recipes are in the group collaboration book, but we did include the videos. And that's the only place that people can watch those videos is in that book. There's a link.
Okay.
And you can just click on it and it takes you to the video.
Cool. Okay. The very last thing I'm going to read out. I said that the last time. Hi, Raw. Shelley says, I'm so looking forward to the Korean barbecue with the lion's mane mushrooms. Ooh.
Lion's
Yeah.
Have you tried lion's mane?
I have. I think I made a soup with it before. Yeah, so it was almost like a crab meat soup kind of thing because when it was fresh. Yeah, but it's a bit expensive to buy, fresh lion means I can get the dry ones which is slightly cheaper, but the fresh ones are quite expensive. But yeah, I saw your live with Chef AJ, and I saw you guys, making the lion's mane using the sauce recipe from the vegan health bundle, and also like using your avocado fries topping. So I was like, oh, that's so brilliant.
Yeah. So that's our new obsession is the lion's mane marinated. We've been putting it in the wraps. We've been putting it on our salads. We've been putting it in the sushi. We've been putting it everywhere. Like we're like so obsessed with the lion's mane. And yeah, it is a little expensive. But it is what it is. Every once in a while, it's nice to have something you can play around with or enjoy. I like the lion's mane mushroom most because it's got such a neutral flavor. Like it's not very mushroomy, but it's also not as kind of like it's not as rubbery as the oyster mushrooms. And it's not as firm or leathery, I guess I should say, as the portobellas. So it's kind of like it's a really soft texture and it's super neutral. It really sucks up the flavor of whatever you marinate it in. So it's like really flavorful, whatever you flavor it with. And it dehydrates very nicely. Like they're like pliable and you peel it, looks like chicken breast. But
it does. I saw your live. I was like, whoa, it does really look like chicken. I mean, it's very popular here in Malaysia in the vegetarian community using cooked food. They always use it as a chicken substitute, like lion's mane curry and all the Asian food. So
the lion's mane is next level. I think there's going to be quite a few lion's mane recipes coming in May.
Yay! I look forward to that.
Yeah, it's gonna be really fun.
Okay. All right. So thank you so much, Lisa, for sharing the secret of making sprouted chickpeas epic. And also thank you for showing us which is the exact forbidden rice that we should be using to bloom them and how easy it is. And yeah, and once the payment thing is sorted out on the vegan health bundle, you guys can go and check it out. Click the link in either one of our bios. It's I actually think it's a really, really good bundle, especially this time I've gone through every single thing. So I'm like so aware of like how much there is. And it's only 49 US dollars, but it's worth almost 5,600 US dollars. So it's a huge deal. Everything is new. It's never appeared on the previous vegan health bundles, and it won't appear in the future vegan health bundles either. So if you want to get it when the payment button is ready.
I
Hopefully by
know.
tomorrow, keeping our fingers crossed.
Yeah, I still don't have an email from them. I sent them two emails and we're still waiting. So I know that they're probably working on it, trying to get it fixed. But I know it always sucks when the technology doesn't
Yeah.
work. But like I told Lori on the last live, I'm like, we get to practice our
Yeah.
patience muscles.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
thank
Poppy's
you,
mom
dear.
said it is a lot of stuff. Yes, it is a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
83 downloads. 83.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah.
A lot of really awesome information and fun.
All right. Thank you so much, Lisa. I will
Thank you.
have a good evening, and yeah, don't be so stressed.
I know.
Do your affirmations and meditations from your new course.
Yeah, I think that's going to happen. I think we're going to have to do that. I really need to like.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me on, and thank you for all the work you do as part of the bundle. You are treasured and loved, and yeah, one of my favorite people.
Oh, yeah. And thanks everyone for joining us. I will be back live at 7 p.m. PST with Amanda of Plant Creations. Till then, you can go check out the live schedule as well to check out to see what all the other lives that have been happening during the bundle. And I'll see you guys at the next Instagram live. All right.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Love you.